Hey, Susan,
Hey Dale,
how are you?
I'm doing well this morning and yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you as well. I've had a couple cups of coffee. I'm fired up, ready
I,
to
I,
go.
I've had a couple. I need a couple more.
Yeah. Well, truth be told, I was so excited after our last segment that we just finished up that I just couldn't wait a week to talk about this next thing. So it's to me, it's such an answer to agents that struggle with what do I talk to my people about? What do I talk to? I know I'm supposed to make phone calls, I'm supposed to time block, I'm supposed to, set aside time to call my sphere. And one of the great things about the iFoundAgent system is it's like a built-in conversation topic, built-in piece of, there's a reason to call people
Right.
if you use the system the way it's designed and the way it's put together.
Yep. There's
So,
not a coach out there or a friend or anything, whether it's a person or online that you pay, you know, $1,000 a month for, whatever, that won't tell you, make your calls,
make your calls.
on
Yeah.
Wednesday, make your calls. And we people are not talking about cold calling. I've never made a cold call in my entire 29 this month, by the way, career. Never. And you don't have to. I'm not knocking doing it, but if you don't want to do it, these are warm calls for a reason. Because even if you're talking about your sphere, might be somebody you haven't talked to in 6, 12, 18 months, whatever. You're like, what do I say? What do I talk about? Oh my God. Do I just say, how was your holiday? It's
Well, you could.
you could. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you could. I mean, it again, not something is better than nothing.
Correct, correct.
And that's kind of the theory with CRMs also. Something is better than nothing. So you just as a new agent or as an agent who's seasoned, but you're kind of stuck. Like there's stuck agents out there, or not. Like, one of the things about iFoundAgent is, and you were just talking about it previously, but when we send out these homeowner campaigns, or when you send out a home buyer campaign, and they click a link to look at a listing, it brings them to your site.
Yep.
And then you get a notice as the agent that says, hey, such and such just visited your site. Here's how to contact them. And here's what they looked at.
Yep.
So right away, it gives you as an agent something to talk to them about, period.
And it's in
Instead
it's
of,
it's in your database, so you have a list of who did it.
exactly.
Like, so it's not like, oh, I gotta write that down. It's already in your website of who did that. So if you can't do it till the next day, you just open your website. Okay, here's who looked at my website yesterday.
Well, it's also on
Or
your
your
phone
phone. Yeah.
because you're getting notices of all these, and we text those notices to you. So you have a list of who's hit your website, who's visited. I mean, it goes back forever for
I
me.
got 4 this morning.
You got four this morning.
4.
So for a cut, I get asked by my customers, our customers all the time, what do I say? How do I follow up? And I'm going to just say it in like simply, I see somebody who hit my site, and this is something, you're doing. I know you're doing this, but
Oh
somebody
yeah.
hits my site, they look at a listing, and there's a now you have a choice to call them or not. But in the world of time blocking, I just want to say something about that. Time blocking is a set schedule where you're every Wednesday from 10 to 12, you're on the phone making calls, right? And I hate that personally. I hate it's like the constraint of every Wednesday from 10 to 12, I got to make calls.
It does work for some people,
It
but I would
does.
say most people it doesn't.
It
Doesn't
doesn't.
work for
But
me.
it's also my time.
Hmm.
Like it's my schedule that I'm making those calls, and I'm not necessarily reaching my people at a convenient time.
Correct. Right, right, right.
I'm inserting myself into their world at an inconvenient time, potentially. And like 10 to 12, that's a freaking work day for them. They don't
Yeah.
want to call for me during the workday. But anyway, time blocking has worked. It's made a lot of people a lot of money over time. So I'm not saying don't make calls.
Right.
What we sort of the approach with iFound is a listing goes on the market in a buy side or a sell side.
Right.
And they, if the recipient in your database gets that notice and they take an action right then to click a link to look at it, they're on your site looking at it. You get the notice. You know that that's instantly happening. So there's an opportunity for you in that moment. You could say, "Hey, Susan, it's Dale. It's been a while. How's it going?" That could be all that I offer up. That could be enough, because if Susan on the other end has a real estate need at that moment, wow, your timing, or hey, you know what? We want to look at this house, or we have somebody moving in from Minnesota who wants to look at this house, like, or we have questions about it, or whatever. Or it's, hey, it's good, and life's been good, blah, 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 and there's an opportunity for a conversation. So, or it's, hey, Susan, I noticed the new listing in your neighborhood came on the market. Let me know if you have any questions. You should be getting it from my website. I don't know if you've gotten it yet, but some agents get a little worked up about, I don't want to say I saw them on my site because that's creepy.
And that's okay. That's
it's
okay.
fine. Don't say that. But other
you
agents,
don't want to. I don't
they
care.
don't care, because nowadays we get tracked for everything we do online.
Yeah. I tell people a lot of the ones that I'm comfortable with. I'm like, hey, just stalking you because I know that, like I'll make a joke out of it, but that's my personality. And I'm getting ready, like in a little while today, I have to drive up to far North Phoenix and look at a listing. It's a vacant one. There's no set appointment. On my way there, I will probably make 2 calls. Now, could someone say, well, you're doing it while you're driving? That's impolite. That's an opinion. Maybe that's valid for you. I don't care. And neither do the people that I'm going to call are not the people that I'm worried about. And even now, I just like, hey, I'm driving. I was thinking about you. I was driving, and it's like, work your time how it works for you.
Right.
It's okay to not, if it doesn't work in your life, to time block and be super structured. That's okay. Make it work for you.
Yeah.
It works. Your life works. It's okay to not if it doesn't work for you.
We're just trying I guess the product of what we produce, or the result of what we produce is a little more real-time engagement with the database, with when they see listings or when they hit your site. We know they're thinking about real estate at that point, which is a good time to engage with them, because we're wanting to have a real estate conversation with them. At some level, that's
we
our
want
job.
to equate ourselves. When they think of real estate, I want them to think of Susan. Real estate, Susan. Real estate, like I want myself in that thought.
Right.
Like, real estate, Susan. Whether it's a question or I wonder if she knows about that. Like, whether they forget to ever call me is irrelevant. But when they think of real estate, I want them to think of me.
Yeah. I mean, what's the saying? Everybody knows 10 realtors. It's something like that, right? 20 realtors. Well, how do you set yourself apart is like, well, what are other agents sending? What are they sending? Are they sending content from a CRM? Okay, so everybody's getting the same recipe this month, or everybody's getting the newsletter this month. And guess what? Susan is sending listings to her people. So out of the 20 agents that those people know, the only one sending them listings in her neighborhood is Susan.
Right.
So
and
Susan stands out.
Right. And when should they choose to look at that listing, they're still connected to me because they're in my website. They're not connected to an armless email, which they're not, or whatever. Most people do it in armless. So they're not just looking at a generic email. They click on it to look at it. They're back. They're still with me.
Yeah.
So it's my job to keep me in their mind and in their possibly conversation when it comes to real estate, so that those two thoughts are together all the time. And that's
Yeah.
honestly, that's what iFoundAgent does. And I was laughing in the earlier video that we did because Dale was chatting and my email notification came up on the bottom of my screen that Liz just visited your website. And she's one of the people that I sent out a notification to this morning.
Yeah. My phone's actually
Hilarious.
buzzed a couple of times this morning also with a couple of notices that I've gotten. Now I get notices for a variety of reasons on my phone, people in my sphere, but I also do a lot of testing with, or demos with real estate agents that are looking at our product. And, you know, just, can I tell one on you, Susan?
Oh yeah.
So you, by the way, people, if you see that sign, Susan's doing 2, that means we've been talking for 10 minutes and we have 2 more, and that's kind of our, but we know we can go over if we have to, but that's the 2.
That's just me
Anyway,
keeping him in
so
line.
Susan, you've had our website for, I think, 4 years or so.
Oh yeah, something like that. It's embarrassing.
But you, for the first couple of years, you got notices from me for your house.
Hello.
Oh, kitty cat.
Sorry.
You you got notices from me, and I remember you telling me, Dale, this is really embarrassing, because you were a managing broker somewhere, like you were pretty, and you're like, I get those notices from you and your website, and I look at them religiously because it's my house, and I'm really embarrassed because I've not set them up on my website. Well, we fixed that earlier this year.
Mhm.
So now, and we took you off of my website, we put you on your website. So now you're getting your own notices.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you fixed it. But that's one of the things that I like to do with our system for agents is put them on my site. They get them till they either unsubscribe or they hit stop on the text, or they buy the product from me. They buy iFoundAgent because, realtors get sold a lot of tech, and there's a lot of hype around tech, and eventually a lot of that hype goes away. And our system keeps sending those listings, and
It was comical
there's no
too.
hype. It just does what it's supposed to do.
It was comical too because I was salaried with my company and didn't sell hardly anything because I wasn't out marketing myself, obviously. And I would get them, and that's how I would track what was going on in my neighborhood was Dale's texts.
Dale's text.
It's like, it was hilarious. I mean, I'm a realtor, and so it's just it works. It just works. I don't know how to explain it. It's just it's the automation you need to keep the personal you need, because without both, unless you're doing cold calls, and again that's a different thing. But if you're just going to do your sphere and things like that, this is the way to go.
It's a great way to engage with their sphere because everybody wants listings. They love to look at listings, even if they're not buying.
Doesn't
But
matter.
there's no harm in them looking.
Doesn't
Just
matter.
have them look from you, not the big Z or the big R, or some other agent, or okay, use the MLS if that's better than nothing. But your website brings in a whole lot of other marketing possibilities for you, and that's really what we're all about here at iFound is how do we get you found as an agent?
Yep. And it's us, right? I mean, there's techie people in the back, don't get me wrong, because Dale's pretty techie. I am not. But it's us. It's Dale, it's me, and the techie guys. We're local, we're reachable, you can talk to us, you can communicate with us, you can express your needs, you can say if you're unhappy, you can say if you're happy. So that doesn't suck that you're not calling Chicago and getting a person that handles calls. It's us. So with that said, we're gonna wrap it up for today.
Yeah.
And there's so much more which we're excited to talk about. We just can only do so much in one day.
That's right.
Cool.
All right, dude, Susan, see you later. Thanks for being on the call with me again. I've always enjoyed
Always,
these.
always a pleasure. Talk to you later, Dale.
Peace out. Bye.